There are plenty of methods to fight in video games, from fists to guns or a mix of the two, with the odd chainsaw thrown in. Yet, since time immemorial, swords have proven to be excessively enjoyable, not to mention versatile for the number of genres that feature them. Let's take a look at 15 of the best sword fighting games and how they'll further your studies in the blade. Shadow Warrior 3. The one where Wang gets a grappling hook. Shadow Warrior 3 does away with its predecessor's wide array of melee weapons and focuses on one single constant, the Dragon Tail Katana. Being able to quickly whip it out and slice an opponent feels more intuitive, and each slash feels more responsive. Upgrades also allow for directional inputs to call down lightning, shoot fire, or unleash a wave of water, which is also pretty nice. Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. A punishing, yet addictive mashup of Tenshu and hack-and-slash combat, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is an incredible journey. Mastering the art of slashing and parrying blows, lowering an opponent's posture, and eventually killing them with a death blow is so fun. But then you have to redirect lightning to shoot it back at your opponent, ride waves to slay a dragon, and figure out how to kill a decapitated ape. The sheer number of matchups, both grounded and over the top, is simply incredible. Samurai Shodown 2019. SNK's weapon-based fighter offers a fairly diverse selection of sword users to embrace, from katana wielders like Halmora and Yashimura to more unorthodox fighters like Charlotte and Yashitora. More importantly, the combat itself is far more lethal than your usual fighting game. Combined with sword clashes and the ability to disarm an opponent, every match turns into a game of risk versus reward, where the tables could turn at any moment. Ninja Gaiden. Ryu Hayabusa is a ninja of many talents, including Master of the Dragon Sword, using it to capably slice open any unwitting foes. The lack of animation canceling in the middle of attacks, coupled with moves like the Flying Swallow and Izuna Drop, make combat more challenging, but also way more harrowing and fun. Of course, seeing your enemies erupting into geysers of blood is also a treat. And if you ever get bored of regular sword, there are dual katanas and the 100-pound Dopplerho available to wield. GHOSTRUNNER. First-person platformer parkour simulator, GHOSTRUNNER has a number of different genres mixed into its proverbial cyberpunk palette. Nevertheless, Jack's katana is as essential as dodging bullets, especially since it deflects bullets. Of course, it's also capable of cutting down unsuspecting foes in a single blow, which feels especially good when you're transitioning from wall runs and grapples right into combat. Ghost of Tsushima. Combat in Sucker Punch Ghost of Tsushima is diverse, relying on stealth kills, smoke bombs, sticky bombs, the bow, and more is very much feasible. But it's the swordplay, with its precise parry timing and different styles for each weapon type, that really shines. Instead of button mashing, you're encouraged to keep properly spaced foes from each other, mix in ninja tools to gain an edge, and employ different techniques, like delayed strikes, unblockable attacks, and more, just to slay enemies. It's easy to get into, but incredibly hard to master. Bushido Blade 2. The follow-up to Light White's 1997 Fighter makes a number of changes to the story and roster. Thankfully, the combat is still largely the same, with each character utilizing weapons like the katana in unique ways. Whether it's Tatsumi's Daisho, including the ability to throw the Kodachi, or the Red Shadow and her ability to dual-wield a longsword and Nodachi, there are a number of different styles to master and opponents to defeat. Beat Saber. Though not technically fighting, Beat Saber will still challenge your sword skills in a rhythmic fashion. The premise of this VR title is simple. Slash colored blocks to the beat while weaving side to side. Sometimes you'll need to slash vertically, and other times horizontally. Perhaps you'll need to crisscross slashes or cut through two at a time. The best part is that the challenge can be customized, making it as easygoing or intensive as you'd like. ONIMUSHA 2. Samurai's Destiny. Considered to be far more difficult than its predecessor, ONIMUSHA 2's sword combat emphasizes precision. Time your attacks properly and Jubei will slay enemies instantly. A simple mechanic, yet difficult to master. It rewards careful observation of enemy patterns and timing your blows. While several other facets could have been improved, like the camera, ONIMUSHA 2 feels like a natural progression of the original survival horror formula. Warm Snow. From the outset, Warm Snow may look to appeal to fans of Hades with its tight hack-and-slash combat. However, not only can you slice foes and dash through them, but you also have flying swords to launch at them. These can be retrieved, which also damages foes and modified with different effects like leaving a trail of flames. It's very cool and extremely satisfying, especially when each sword makes contact with a foe. Warhammer Vermintide 2. Each character in Vermintide 2 has their own unique playstyle, which is further diversified by different careers that they can undertake. Would you rather have Kerillian serve as a Waystalker with bow and arrow, or embrace nature's magic as a Sister of the Thorn? One thing they'll all have in common, aside from Ardent, is the proclivity towards swords. Great swords, swords and shields, rapiers, falchions, dual swords, and even a fire sword. It's all here, and perfectly capable of mowing down hordes of chaos in Skaven. Until You Fall. Shell Games' VR hack-and-slash roguelike is fairly underrated, which is a shame considering how visceral and responsive its combat is. As a Rune Knight, the players must battle various monstrosities in the wake of the Rokar civilization's collapse. As you attack foes, breaking their guard and following up to finish them, new weapons can be crafted, including one-handed and two-handed swords. If that weren't enough, a heavy dose of synthwave permeates the combat, adding a surreal yet heart-pounding feel. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Yes, there are force powers, but for the most part, a lot of Cal Kestis encounters involve lightsaber combat. Functioning a bit like SEKIRO with its posture meters and death blows, there's a fair amount of technique involved that separates it from a typical button masher. Though, a bit more gore could have added much more to the encounters. Fallen Order offers a compelling sword fighting experience against the backdrop of a fun adventure. Absolver. For all of its faults, Slowclap's Absolver included several different fighting styles along with combo customization into one game. This includes the use of weapons, which not only deal different damage depending on the style, but have their own unique combat decks and moves. Among these, the swords are especially useful thanks to their longer range. Whether it's a thin Arathian Shakudo, the lethal curved sword, or the broken sword, they all feel appropriately lethal. SOULCALIBUR 6. If a fighting game with swords is your thing, then look no further than SOULCALIBUR 6. You have short sword wielders like Sophitia and Cassandra, Zweihander users like Siegfried and Nightmare, the series penchant for guard impacts, which are like parries that allow for follow-up hits, counter hits, and the new reversal edge make for some genuinely thrilling encounters. Remember though, ring outs are still a thing and as infuriating as ever. So what kind of blades do you go for? Long swords, short swords, daggers? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're here, drop a like and subscribe to GamingBolt. We upload new videos daily that you can check out here on the sidebar.